I recently completed this self-portrait and I thought this would be a good time to tell you a little bit about myself. I wanted to tell you about this tattoo in particular. Even though it's small, it's very mighty and it inspired this painting. And you're probably wondering, why do I paint so many dang hands and what do hands mean to me?
Welcome to my channel.
First, let's talk about what's with all the hands. Sometimes, as artists, we are drawn to certain subjects and we don't really know why. Or we can't find the words for the why. This was me about hands for a long time. I've always been captivated by hands, but didn't know why I cared so much. It wasn't until recently, when I was doing some deep reflecting, that I realized that my brother has been inspiring my fascination about hands all along. I grew up with a brother with cerebral palsy, and because he had poor use of one arm and hand that looked very different from his other arm and hand, I became hyper aware of hands from an early age. I quickly learned just how hard it can be to navigate a world with only one good functioning hand and was constantly impressed by my brother's adaptability. This fascination spurred me to teach myself sign language in 5th grade to talk with the growing deaf and mute community in my church. Hands later became synonymous with healing, serving, worship, and self-expression. Hands had become a language. When I was preparing to do my first solo art show in 2016, hands reappeared in my artistic practice, but took on an additional meaning in portraiture. Instead of painting someone's face to identify them, I painted people's hands. Their hands held an object that displayed their inspiration, craft, or career. What they did with their hands was a reflection of who they were. This series was so enjoyable and successful, it increased my love for painting hands. Now, 10 years later from that show, I'm doing some deep inner healing and reflecting and using painting as a means to do that. I'm painting a lot of spiritual self-portraits, but this painting is a true physical self-portrait that reflects a spiritual reality for me. If we ever experience a miracle, revelation, or phenomenon, we should make a personal monument of it so we can remember it. My little monument to myself is the number 7 tattooed on my finger. I wanted to always remember the time I was miraculously healed from an autoimmune disease. An older woman who I barely knew laid hands on me and prayed for my healing. There is no magic in what she did, but through her faith and my surrender, I received this miracle instantly. The 7, outside of the spiritual meaning of wholeness and perfection, is the day I was healed in 2018. Not all of my tattoos have meaning like this one, but I do love tattoos. Maybe I'll dive into my other ones in another video. Thanks for letting me introduce myself and explain why I love painting hands. I hope this resonates with you and inspires you to explore yourself.
Thank you for watching.